developer advocate, what does it mean? Is it like a lawyer for a developer or something like that? You'll see it in a lot of Twitter bios alongside the avocado emoji. What does it mean? Is it somebody who makes guacamole? I don't know. To find out, I've got Gift Egwuenu, a developer advocate at Cloudflare here, and we're going to talk all about what developer advocacy is. Gift, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to explain what that actually means.
That's great, because you can tell that I am lost. So, just to get started, to lay the groundwork, what is a developer advocate?
Sure. Developer advocate, avocado, whatever you want to call it, is someone that acts as a liaison between the developers using the products and also the company, in this case, that is trying to advocate to developers. So I kind of find that the role sits in between developers, community, and the company that you work for. Developer advocates are mostly tasked with helping developers be successful with products that you're advocating for. For example, where I work, our platform for developers, I'm doing like a lot of things to get more developers to use it. Also, helping them onboard into the platform is also part of my work. And I think the other part that I'm not mentioning is it's a two-way street. So it's like I talk to the community, and then the community tells me, like, gives me feedback, and then I relay that back to the engineers or the product managers working on the product. So that's essentially what the role is all about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's more to it, but that's like the overarching idea of developer advocates.
So it seems like the key word there is liaison. You're facilitating communication between developers and your company.
Yeah.
And why does the tech industry need that?
So before now, I think that I actually just found this out yesterday. Developer relations have been existing for as long as the 90s, and it started at Apple. Yeah, interesting. I think the reason why you would need developer advocates in a company is to help your customers, in this case, developers. There are different types of companies out there, and some of them, if you check, their audience or their core audience are developers. And how do you get them to use your product effectively, efficiently? How do you help them be successful with your products? You need someone to do this work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in some companies, they have the marketing team that try to get more customers, but developers are not very akin to salesy type of information. They want to really know the authentic or the true reason why they should be using your platform. And I think the best way to get them to use it is if a developer talks to them. So developer advocates are also developers themselves,
mm-hmm.
right? So I think that the communication here is more efficient because you can talk tech to them, and then they understand that more than being
it's true. With developers, you can't really use that same kind of advertising and marketing that traditionally companies would use to talk to their users.
Yes.
I would love to know more about what your job looks like. What do you do in a typical day in your job at Cloudflare?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that because of the role and the different aspect of it, my days could be different based on the things that I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
But in a nutshell, like I mentioned, my role is to help developers be successful using my company's products. So what I do for day-to-day includes like helping developers learn and use our tools. So from Cloudflare Workers to KV to R to all the developer products that we have, I create educational content to help people learn how to use them. From making YouTube videos on the Cloudflare channel to writing documentation, blog posts, tutorials, creating examples to show, this is what you can actually use this product for. And apart from that, I'm also going to events, so tech conferences, to also speak to developers, because I feel like there are different routes you can get people to learn about your products. You can do that through in-person events as well. So I go to speak at conferences as well about Cloudflare. And one thing that I'm not even talking about now is the community.
Mm-hmm.
The community is a big part of the products that you're trying to advocate for. So another job that I have to do is keeping abreast with what's happening in the community, from answering questions to helping people there, help them learn or use the products successfully.
Wow. You just described a very broad skill set, from community building, conference talks, videos, video editing, video scripting, writing, and all of those skills are still based on a foundation of technical knowledge. You are already a full-fledged developer before any of that. Which specifically about being a developer, how much technical knowledge do you need in order to be a developer advocate?
I would say it's always nice to pivot from being a developer first to being a developer advocate, and this is because of the obvious reasons. You're talking to developers, so you have to have some kind of knowledge or understanding of some of the technical concepts or knowledge to be able to speak fluently to them. So in my experience, I think working as a software developer is a plus to help you move to the developer advocacy role. But developer advocacy is just like a niche under the term developer relations, which is like an umbrella for every roles under this field. I know that there are community managers, and for that you don't necessarily have to have some software engineering experience to do that.
Mm-hmm.
There is technical writers under the same umbrella. There is developer experience engineers.
Mm-hmm.
These are like people that are helping with improving the experience of the developers using the products. And I could say there are different roles, both technical, non-technical, under the developer relations umbrella. And based off of what you feel comfortable with, you can pick.
That's cool. So to be a developer advocate, it's good to have maybe some experience working as a developer.
Yes.
But if you want to work in the field of developer relations, there's more possibilities.
Yes.
And one of those jobs that you mentioned is community manager. And community is such an important part, like you've already said, such an important part of developer relations. What are some of the approaches that you take or the skills that you need to build community?
Yeah. I think that with community it's very important to have empathy. That is something that I find that always comes up, because your role is to speak to people, help them maybe resolve issues that they have. And two things, empathy and communication, right? So you have to have empathy for whoever that you're speaking to. If they ask you for help, the way that you approach them, the way that you reply to them, you should always come off as, yes, you're happy to help, And secondly, good communication skills is very important, because most of the time you talk over text. And one thing that I know about communicating over text, they might be missing context sometimes if you don't communicate properly. So communication is important, and also having empathy for the developers you're speaking to is also.
It's so interesting to me that you mentioned all of these responsibilities that require so many hard technical skills, but then when it boils down, it kind of sounds like it boils down to like very human skills are the most important. And you're talking about advocacy, which is a kind of a really human project.
Yeah.
So you already mentioned a little bit about all the content that you're creating. Can you tell us more about what are the different types of content that you create as part of your job?
Currently, my role, I do different content. One of them is making videos on Cloudflare's YouTube channel. I find that there are different avenues for you to teach technical concepts. So some people might be akin to watching videos. Some people prefer reading a tutorial. Some people prefer just checking out the documentation. So at Cloudflare, we're trying to make sure that we have different forms of content for these different sets of people. So from making videos to writing tutorials to documentation and even going off to speak at events, different things that I've explored over the last year working at Cloudflare.
You also mentioned conferences. Why is it important as a developer advocate? Why do you have to go speak at conferences?
Yeah. So the audience for developer advocates, developers, of course. And where do you find developers? You find them at tech conferences. So I think the benefit of going to a conference as a developer advocate is so that you can meet developers. You can also speak to them here. In my experience, every time I go to a conference, I have the opportunity to chat with developers and just hear from them, why they're using the platform, what they would like to see, features that they're interested in seeing, pain points that they have too, and then I take that and relay it back to the team.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an opportunity for me to have like a in-person, connection with the people that I'm advocating to. Is also another opportunity to get, out in the public to get more people to know about the products in case they're not already familiar. Yeah. So I find that is an important part of the job, if you ask me, to meet the customers or developers where they are. Yeah.
And then going the other direction, it sounds like an important part of your job is learning about all the new technologies that are coming up and kind of like bringing that back to Cloudflare.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, it's 2023. It's a kind of overwhelming how many new web development technologies there are. What are some of the new technologies that you're excited about and that you're planning on exploring this year?
Yeah, I agree. There's always going to be new sets of technologies that you have to jump on. It's just the industry. Right now, I'm looking into all the new meta frameworks that are popping off. Over the last year, I've been following through with Nox because I am a Nox developer myself. So I'm really excited that officially Nox 3 is out and I can now start building, or I already was building, but I can now use it in production, right? Apart from Nox 3, the other ones that I'm also interested in exploring are like Astro JS. We just recently got the second version released. Solid.js Remix. Even though I'm not a React developer, I'm also really interested in getting into Next.js. Just exploring these technologies, because what really helps, how it really helps my job is that I can then build demos with these technologies so that I can reach developers that are in that niche. So there are developers that are Next developers, Nox developers, but they would like to, for example, build a full stack application. So I can also build examples to show, you can use Cloudflare workers or Cloudflare pages with this specific technology.
So you need to learn about those technologies so you can talk to those developers.
I can get,
Can we get a bet from you? For the past few years, the big ones in the industry have been like Angular, Next, Nuxt, and people are excited about Svelte right now. What's your bet for the next big framework?
I would say that my money is on Svelte. As well, I think that Astro also has like a good chance in the industry, because one thing that I'm noticing, or the trend that I'm noticing, is any frameworks that comes off with, you have to write, you don't have to ship a lot of JavaScript to get it to work. People are more interested in looking into that, So I think for the last year, it's been Astro, I think Remix, and Svelte does the same, right? So I think those frameworks are really going to, over the next couple of years.
I always think that like for a while the React frameworks have been very, very popular, and all the JSX and writing a lot of JavaScript for your rendering. But it seems like the tide has turned and people are like, Vue for a long time has been the only one that was HTML first. And now that space is getting kind of crowded with Astro and Svelte as well. So if somebody's watching this video and they like the sounds of developer advocacy, how could they start looking to start a career in developer advocacy?
I think that you could go the routes that I took. So how I started was I always have been sharing stuff publicly that I've been doing, whether that is maybe writing an article or being on Twitter, sharing my knowledge publicly to people. I think that those are components of the real job. So it helps if you are already doing some of that to also get your feet get you into the role of doing developer advocacy full time. So if you are a developer right now and you enjoy, helping other developers, whether that is helping them on platforms like Stack Overflow, or you love to make videos to teach what you know or what you're learning, or you like community building, you're active in a lot of communities, I find that you're a perfect fit for a developer advocate role, because that is the component of the job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I find that everything that I do in my job, I was doing it before getting into the role on my own free time, of course. But it really helps to have interest, passion before doing it full time.
It always seems like good career advice to find a job doing something that you really enjoy doing.
Yeah. And they say you do that and you don't have to work a day because it feels like you're doing. Yeah. Anyway, I feel like I am in a position where I get paid to do what I really like. So it's like, it's two things for me, right? It's also speaking to building a brand. It also helps me build a brand as I keep doing it, right? So there's value for me, there's value for the people that I'm helping, there's value for the company.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So an important part, I think, of putting yourself out in the world as a developer advocate is having a good portfolio. Can you tell us about how you made your portfolio and what you were considering when you made it?
Yeah, sure. When I made that portfolio, I think I was looking at different things. I wanted a space where I could share my own knowledge. So like have a domain where I could write consistently on and also cross-post to other platforms. I think another thing is I wanted to have like one source where I have everything that I'm doing, including tech-related stuff, passion projects that I'm working on. So I think a portfolio really helps you market yourself as much as you can, because you have like the sole ownership of it. So you can, as much as you want, share YouTube videos that you're making, like have a page for videos, have a page for articles that you write. Even just having a page where you talk about yourself and the value that you offer is also nice. And those are the components that I feel are important for you to have a portfolio. But apart from that, it's also good to have somewhere where anybody looking for you can just check out what you've done and have links to other places on the internet where you are also available.
Yeah. It sounds like if you are trying to connect with developers, it seems like it's good to have a way that they can learn a little bit about you.
Yeah.
That's cool. And what do you see in the future for your career as a developer advocate?
Right now, I think that I love what I'm doing, and I see that there is an avenue for growth in this space. Just looking at the amount of companies that are looking for new developer advocates to hire, it's just really interesting to see that people are adopting this system of we have developers as our customers, and we need people to help us reach those developers. So I see myself doing more things than I'm doing in massive spaces and scale. And yeah, it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to doing more
It is
stuff.
exciting. There's so much space to grow.
Yeah.
There's like really no limit.
Yeah.
That's great. Gift, it's just been so great to have you here and learn a lot about developer advocacy. So thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you so much for having me. This was good.
Yeah, it was a really great conversation. So be sure to check out Gift's YouTube channel in the links below. And if you want to learn more about developer advocacy, you can see an excellent example from our own superstar developer advocate, Alex Strost, right here. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and hope to see you again soon.